Hey everybody, welcome to Smashing Game Time. We are two brothers and one special guest that go through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I am your host, Nick. Below me is my brother, Josh.
Hey everybody.
Hey, Josh. And then to my left, you'll know him, you'll love him. He's the host of Gimmicks. He's the host of Are You My Mother? It's David Arnold, everybody.
Oh, gosh, bros, it's great to be back.
Great to have you back.
It's great to have you back.
Man, I am so thrilled and excited because last time we talked about so many wonderful things, but I think the best of it was that my friends and family got to hear me talk about Gollum performing oral sex, and really, what a gift! What a gift! What a
They
gift.
talked about it all Thanksgiving, didn't they?
Well, it was pretty much the only focus this year, so thank you.
And you know what? With the other holidays coming up, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of them, you got a whole month of December of Gollum deep throating.
No, I hope that we can actually reset that and raise the erudite level of conversation so that I have something new to be known for in my circle.
We can do that. You know, Gollum is a WB a property, and
Wow.
WB in the last few years has had to tell people that Batman doesn't go down. Some heroes don't do that. So Gollum is in that same category.
That's true.
Gollum doesn't go down. Gollum is not a generous lover. You heard it here, folks. Confirmed. But hey, we're not going to talk about what fictional characters get on their knees. We're here to talk video games. We are going to be looking back at our 2023. I wouldn't call them predictions. I don't believe we did predictions this year, but what games were most anticipated by us at the beginning of the year, and then
How we felt about them.
yeah, and then our resolutions and where we're at with them. Spoiler alert, not very far.
Yeah, it's sad.
But before we do that, couple things at the top of the show. Hey, we're on Apple, Spotify, we're on YouTube. Go check us out in all those places. Fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. Word of mouth is king here, that's right. The computer's gotta go. Fuck them, fuck the algorithm. Fuck them. The camera's in a new place, so I'm like looking where the camera used to be, and it's throwing me off so much. That's right. Hey, I said it before, but we're on YouTube. Come look at our beautiful faces. Come look at all the things on the walls behind us.
Watch
Josh,
Gollum Deep Throat Frodo.
no,
Oh my gosh.
no more deep throat. No. We're stopping that. No.
I don't know where this episode will end up, but I'm not ruling it out.
And in all fairness, it usually ends up on Spotify, YouTube, pretty much everywhere you get your podcast.
The swallow ship of the rings. Okay, I'm done. I got it out of my system.
And I just want to say, while fuck the algorithm is a tried and true thing, I do want to give credit that we are on just the tail end of the Spotify Unwrapped, and I was stoked to see Smashing Game Time on my top 5 podcasts.
I saw that. I was on X or Twitter, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so touched." But But then I saw that you listen to your podcast more than us. I was like, "This motherfucker."
Well, and it does seem narcissistic that the number one was Gimmicks, but that was before I was invited as co-host, so that's the only reason that one's okay. The only reason.
But thank you so much. I don't use Spotify for podcasts, so like if I listen to one on there, it just completely trips it up. But I will say my number one artist this year was Gus Dapperton, followed by JPEG Mafia. So it was a pretty good musical year for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think Danny Brown was in there too. Josh, did you get your Spotify Wrapped yet?
Now that you mention it, I have not seen it come through. I wonder if it hit my spam.
I don't even think I didn't see any emails, but they do. Like if you open the app, it's like it'll pop up, it'll hit you in the face and be like, "Hey, motherfucker, come post this on."
That's what I used to watch or listen to our podcast, and when I opened it, it didn't pop up.
It honestly, it's kind of crazy how much that has become a thing in like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I like it though.
To the point that even this summer, I thought, God, fuck, am I listening to too much video game music? Like, is this going to fuck up my Spotify Unwrapped? And it did. That's my Unwrapped is. It's like, man, you love to work with video game music in the background, don't you? You little nerd.
You little punk. The year I had a kid, that year was ruined. The year I was streaming and was using copyright free video game music for like the streams. That effed stuff up. So yeah, it's kind of like, oh, I can't do that on Spotify. It's going to mess it's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Which honestly, I'm surprised more companies aren't like jumping on the bandwagon and like, oh, hey, we're Facebook. Here's the most racist thing your uncle said this year.
Yeah. Can I can I tell you that I think part of the reason that there's such an allure to it is there's actually this psychology around your presence and knowing what you've done for any period of time. So like with a depressed client, I might tell I'm just gonna make Josh depressed real quick. I might tell Josh, keep a journal, and then at the end of the year you can like flip this little book and you wrote 360 days of stuff, and like there's a catharsis associated with that. And so I think people are really annoyed that like today and tomorrow end up just being like people sharing their music, but it is like a moment of like I was here, and in a very desolate and despair driven world, like it's kind of nice to see that you were here, even if it's for something as dumb as like I listened to Taylor Swift more than anyone else. Like but there you were there, and that's kind of cool.
The fun fact about David is he wasn't listening to the Taylor versions, he was listening to the Scooter versions.
Oh yeah. I prefer my music to be churned through a machine and depersoned.
In David's defense, though, if you listen to Taylor's version and you go back and listen to Scooter versions, Taylor doesn't sound as thrilled to be 22 or to shake it off. To be honest, she sounds like, dude, this is fucking annoying. I'm 30 something years old and I just want to go home, drink a bottle of wine, and wind down for the rest of the day.
I just want to sit down with Travis and watch the new Squid Game show.
Yes.
Stop. Wow.
SEO, baby.
Yeah. Listen, that's Squid Game show. We should talk about it because it's garbage. But speaking of people who will review me as garbage, I am not a Taylor Swift listener. I use that as an example. I couldn't tell you a Taylor Swift song. That is not my world. It's just not my world.
You're lucky.
Travis is my world. I'm definitely there for that. Like, I get it, but
nobody's had a better year than Travis.
Yeah, he's definitely had the best year.
I will say it's gotten annoying because I was browsing IGN earlier looking for news just to see if we were missing anything. And there was an article about Taylor Swift and how she's changing like how production companies should look at releasing movies. And I was like, damn it, another SEO grab. Like, I get it. If you Google Taylor Swift, a lot of stuff comes up, but come on, IGN. Kotaku had one. I'm pretty sure Polygon had one.
Well, yeah. I mean, they see what it did for the NFL, and they're like, well, shit, how can we like hop on this real quick? I want to see a couple, extra 100,000 girls come to our website just to read this one article to boost our revenue.
And maybe they'll stay to read our review of the Walking Dead game that just came out. Who knows?
Is this y'all's way of telling me that I've been bumped for Taylor, who's coming on as guest for this episode?
Taylor and Travis actually couldn't book. They wanted to. They really wanted to, but they were too busy watching Squid Games. But speaking of games, look at what I did. Josh,
I love that. That was so good.
Josh,
so
what are you playing?
All right, so Apex Legends, basically new season still, or within recent just started. I've been kind of dabbling in that when anybody's online. Otherwise, I've been switching between Bloodstained Ritual of the Night since I got my Steam Deck back. I finally getting back to it, and then of course I'm playing through all the Tomb Raiders currently.
You're still
wow.
I think I'm 3/4 of the way done as far as finishing it. So and then I go straight to the multiplayer for the.
Are you at the? No, don't do that. Are you at the point in the game where you're kind of like returning to like all the old areas?
Yes.
Because I think that game does a really good thing where like, oh hey, you're at the top of this thing over here, and oh you can shoot an arrow rope down here, and oh shoot, I'm back in that area where the plane went down.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing right now. I was going back through all the tombs, getting all the GPS caches, and knocking all that out before I finish it. But then, like I said, I have to torture myself. Nick, I'm a completionist. I have to go back and do the multiplayer. And unfortunately, there's achievements for it.
You don't have to do that.
I have to.
Multiplayer achievements are kind of, when you're in the mood for multiplayer, it's fine, but they're kind of the worst, right?
They always are, because it's like, okay, we're going to give you like a couple of easy ones. We're going to want you to go ahead and maybe play a map or play all the maps on the game or play every game mode and win it. Some stuff that you can eventually do in time, but then they do like the most impossible, right? Hey, basically, if in this game of team deathmatch, you need to survive the whole entire match without dying, or
camp in the corner, just hide.
Yeah, or you have to like get like 50 of the 100 kills. Like, I would have to sit there forever and do it.
I liken multiplayer achievements to like I think of 3 major multiplayer achievements, 2 of which I got and 1 of which I never even got even close. The first one is the overkill achievement in Halo 3, where they force you to get an overkill, which is 4 kills in a row in the lone wolf match. Like so it's 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus, so you have to kill all the other players and then I think 1 more to get that. And I remember that being a pain in the ass and getting that by accident. And that was actually the last achievement I needed in Halo 3 and 100% of that one. The other one that I got, so Titanfall, when that one first came out, there was this ridiculous achievement. So when you win a game, the other team is going to evacuate on a spaceship. And there's an achievement for be the player to kill all 6 evacuating enemy players. And it's tough because you have all your teammates doing the same thing and everyone's going to one spot. And again, this is another one where I just was really lucky in where I was, what gun I had, the fact that everyone that I was killing was running away from me and wasn't actually trying to fight me. And that was, again, the last one. The last achievement, and you know this if you've ever played any Gears of War, is the Seriously achievement, which was kill 10,000 players in a lifetime.
Oh my God.
Fucking ridiculous.
It wasn't the second one like 2.0 where you had to kill like 20,000?
No, it was 100,000, but they counted, that was across the whole game. So it could have been like AI enemies. Easier. It could have been. Yeah. So what people did for that one is they would just replay that last level where you're riding the Brumach. Yep. And just mowing down thousands everybody. And thousands of guys.
I remember you sit there for like a couple hours doing that just to get it.
But I never got it.
I thought you did get it.
No, I stopped. I stopped on both of them because first of all, that first Gears of War was very buggy, and then that second one that was just a big number. I was 2008. How old was I? I was 16 at the time. I had duties.
Yeah.
Duties.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that is wild. I am not a huge multiplayer person as a whole, but I went for the original BioShock 2 multiplayer trophies, and I got them all. And when that finished, I said I would never like to play this game ever again. And so when the remaster came out, there was no multiplayer fuckery whatsoever. I was like, great, let me dive back into this shit. That's fine, but I could never do this. And like the lingering, I don't think anyone has them, is there these DLC map trophies that came with it because no one bought this fucking DLC. You could never get into one of these maps to get these trophies.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Bastard people.
No, bastard developers. That's the one thing I will admit. Like, I'm not blaming
true.
I'm not blaming the head honchos, the funders. Like, I'm blaming the developers. You knew what you were doing, you sick son of a bitch.
I don't know. I do kind of like the one Nick talked about, that because there's a sociopathy to people are escaping for their lives and you have to go kill them. And I do like when challenges make you be a little bit of a psychopath. And I think that there's a beauty to that.
I wish there were more. Yeah, I wish there were more achievements that had like that unique twist, and it wasn't just kill somebody with this gun, kill somebody with that gun, kill somebody with that gun. Oh, God. Like I want achievements where it's like, hey, you threw a rock and hit an enemy in the head and you killed them.
Yeah.
Something cool. Something unique.
That just sounds like a basic weapon kill, Nick.
No, you picked up, like you can't, in the game, you can't pick up a rock. You'd have to shoot the rock, bounce it off of something, and then it bounces off.
Okay.
Something cool like
that's
that.
Cool. That's cool.
Something cool. Something with like physics.
My favorite trophies are like little in-game jokes or nods or things like that. Like that sort of award the player for being a weirdo.
Yes.
That's cute.
But I also like the games where they just give me the achievements. Like, oh, you got to this part of the game. Here you fucking go. You
wow.
You sloppy little gamer boy.
Nick said, give me a Final Fantasy trophy list where it's like, you got to chapter 2. Here's the chapter 2 trophy. Well done, you.
I'm just a dog getting a treat, going outside to get a treat and coming back in.
No, wait. Or heavy rain. You started the game. Thank you. Here's a trophy.
Is that
great fucking trophy?
Is that real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure it is. I believe that the help text on the trophy is thanks for supporting interactive storytelling.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this shit up, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that was.
And you know what? It probably only has like a 10% there are only 10% of gamers that have that achievement that have played the game.
You think enough people launched it and saw, oh, directed by David Cage, and they're like, oh, God, get this
I'm not
fucking away from
touching
me.
that.
If it's not that, if they didn't do that, they were the ones who got the chainsaw lollipop achievement, looking up her skirt.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It berates the players. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, like what the fuck? It's literally like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you pervert or something like that?
Though, in folks' defense, I think all three of us looked at Sam Porter Bridges' junk long enough for him to punch us in the face. So we're all subject to it.
I mean,
there's no shame in that though. I stared at his junk the whole time, and I was like, God damn. I'm not in any way, shape, or form like attracted to him in it like that way. But at the same time, I know a good looking man when I see him.
do you know how many showers I took with that man? Come on.
I wish.
But that was all in the service of some Type 0 grenades. Come on.
I needed my grenades. You just showered. You already replenished them. No, I need more.
I need more.
At one point, he just kind of looks at you and he's like slowly just washing himself to keep himself covered.
He's like,
you just stare.
He's like, please get out.
Kept pressing the shower button. He just starts crying.
And anything else on the gaming front, Josh?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. I'm gonna throw a curveball, and I'm gonna throw it to David. I'm gonna throw it to
You're
David.
gonna throw it to me. Wow.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am ready. I have been replaying some older games, which is sort of the thesis of Smashing Game Time. So for my podcast, we were covering Genova as a mother in media, which will be really interesting to cut together because it was like 2.5 hours of talking through this as like a concept. And so I replayed Final Fantasy VII, which was a blast to go back through, and had a lot of fun with that. That then made me go, well, I could keep doing this. So I played through Final Fantasy VIII, mostly because Ben Starr, who voices Clive, is like obsessed with it, and it's all over my social media feeds to like play this game. And finally tucked through that, and then got into some Super Mario Wonder. It was finally time to complete my conversion into being open and honest about being a furry in the world and loving Elephant Mario. And here I am. I made it. He's a big boy. He squirts water. It's excellent.
No, wait. Would he technically be considered a furry if he's an elephant? Because
yeah, I think that the internet has clearly delineated that that's on the side of furryism. Though I do recognize elephants not the furriest creatures, but it's the anthropomorphic of it all. I think is what's going on
fair.
there.
It's very confusing when they throw it out, the concept out there, and the majority of them usually are some type of like dog or wolf, like in that type of family.
Well,
yeah,
my fursona would be an alligator, Josh. So you know what? I think you don't have to have fur to be a furry.
No, teach their own. It's a foreign concept to me. Wait, I don't necessarily know enough people who are, and it's like it's not for a lack of wanting to know. It's just other than going to Reddit and honestly either getting to the complete one side that's like, oh, furries, you're fucking weird, or hardcore into it that don't really explain it, but just are like all about it. It's like, how am I supposed to learn? There's not like a how-to guide.
It's true. It's not a community that's easy to get into. Yeah. It's because it's somewhat insular. It's hard to discover the ways of these folks.
There's no middle ground. There's no like furry runner club like at this meeting down at the park that you can just go be a part of.
I think the closest thing to it are the bronies, and everybody knows to avoid them.
Yeah, bronies. I don't know. Like I've never met a brony. Wait, David, are you a brony?
No. I thought you said brownies, meaning the children who go to like Girl Scouts. And I was trying to make the connection. I was really trying, and I was doing good listener face. And then Nick clarified that it was bronies, and I was like, "Oh, sure." And so I didn't mean to. I know very little about the My Little Pony franchise, but I do know that these folks love it, which is great.
It's more of like, I was thinking more of like the stereotype bronies who are like,
oh, okay,
bunch of like men in their like mid 40s who are like hardcore into it, and some of them are known to be like into pedophilia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, not every single brony is like that. That's a stereotype, but
I do think there's a way in which aberrant sexuality, because it's different than the norm, all gets sort of lumped together, and that. It can be a little bit challenging, I think, for those communities. But this is all to say that, I went down a rabbit hole of looking at Mario porn art, and it was It was great. It was really great. And I also learned that there's a lot of hate on the internet for players playing this Mario game as Mario, that he's sort of considered the most basic choice, since you can play as almost any other character. But I'm a big Mario man. I play Mario in Mario Kart, Smash. Like, I like Mario. I just genuinely like vanilla ice cream, and that's
David.
okay
I was
too.
about to say, how very vanilla of you to play as
I know,
Mario.
I know.
But that's very
I know.
ironic because I mean the man's name is in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He is the reason it exists, and you're like people are gonna complain about that.
Oh, you
Here's
play
the deal.
Mario?
Luigi's kinkier. Peach is sassier. Daisy is like a fucking bitch. It's great.
Yoshi-
And everybody
has
wants
the tongue.
Waluigi.
She does have that tongue.
You know, Donkey Kong wears nothing but a tie.
Donkey Kong. Can I just say Donkey Kong was the most surprising part of the Mario movie for me. I didn't anticipate liking this film at all, and not like a wild Seth Rogen fan, but I thought that part of the film was fantastic. So I will say that like just a tie is appropriate for that creature.
He kept the Rogan laugh under check.
He really did. He really did.
I was proud of him. I was like, hey, he didn't giggle. We'll give him credit there.
And while I'm into just a necktie on a burly fellow, I've got to say I was always more partial to Funky Kong. Funky Kong is where it's at, right? Cool. Yeah. Funky Kong is where it's at. That's my kind of guy. Laid back, bandana, chill. Oh, yeah. Don't really know where he was on January 6th. That's what I look. That's what I look for in a man.
I was just very into Diddy Kong. Like, he's got the red hat, he's got the red T-shirt.
Doesn't
need anything else.
Cool.
He's in his box.
Just cool little guy. Cool little guy.
He's a cool dude.
I interrupted you, James.
And then,
I'm sorry.
Shit, yeah. And then I've been playing, Slay the Spire because I can't get away from it. It's my gacha game, and Vampire Survivors just to have something on every once in a while because it's just a fun little. I'd say it's a fun little quick game you can play whenever, but it seems to be like 2 or 3 hours go by and you don't even notice it.
Yeah, it's the Mr. Krabs meme. You look up and like the room is spinning. Those are two very addicting games that you've mentioned there at the end. I have to stay away from both. Like, I'm aware of Slay the Spire and I've seen it and I'm like, if I get into this, like, I'm going to lose a lot of time. And
you are.
I've maybe put in 2 hours into Vampire Survivor over the last year and a half, and I'm like, I can sit here and do this. And I have other games that are, I forget what the exact name of that genre is, but it's.
I think it's called a survivor genre, isn't that? Like, or yeah, that's what they're calling these.
It's like they call it bullet hell. It's bullet heaven because you're the bullet. You're the bullet hell. And I like it because I'm like, I can just turn my brain off and just like walk around. I only have to stop to pick things every once in a while.
It is kind of fun, mindless. It's wild. My buddy Doug has started streaming, and I don't really know anything about Twitch, so I'm just doing it as a supporter. And one of the things he was playing was a Vampire Survivors where you're a pirate ship and you're just like sailing the seas and shooting other ships and taking their treasures. And it's like hypnotic to even just watch him. And it's good. So great.
That's a good theme. That's a good theme on that. I like that.
God. Just hypnotic.
I was gonna ask something about Mario Wander, but my mind wandered off and we got into that whole have you beaten it?
No, I haven't. So I have a little bit of trouble with like manual dexterity, and so I would love to 100%, and I don't seem to be able to register the idea that my physical capacity doesn't necessarily meet 100%ing a game that requires some pretty precise agility on the controller. Mm-hmm. And so I'm only through World 4 now, but soon. Bowser's turned himself into a castle. That's hot. We have to resolve that issue. I suppose that must be resolved because that's the point of the game. But I like a man who's in charge. I like a man who's a giant house, and I think that's been a lot of fun.
I have a feeling you're going to enter that giant man castle, or that giant. He's a turtle. That giant turtle castle.
It's the house hunters I want, Nick. It's the house hunters I want to experience.
Honey, I think the house just orgasmed. Yeah. That's extra.
I really don't love the paint color here in the colon, but we could redo it. We could redo it later.
We'll put up wallpaper.
Nick, what about you? What games have you been playing?
Oh, I thought you guys would never ask. So it's been a lighter week for me. I have a new phone because I left my phone on top of the roof of my car and drove off.
Wow. And
so
physics worked against you. It was destroyed.
my iPhone 8 that I've had for like the last 700 years finally gone. So I got
Nick,
this.
you lost your button. You lost your button.
He's gone to buttonless.
I'm completely beside myself trying to press it so hard that I create a button. But so with the new phone, I got the Apple Games or whatever for 3 months.
Arcade. Yeah.
Arcade, there it is. Yep. So I downloaded What the Golf, and that has been my I'm gonna go sit on the toilet for 10 minutes and hide from my kids and play What the Golf, or I've got like 5 minutes at work. It's 5 minutes before I leave. I'm going to play What the Golf. And it's really cool. It's really funny how each level just completely blows my mind. So like, Josh, I don't know if you know, it's a golf game where you're flipping the ball into the hole, and you have to get a par, but like, it doesn't really matter. It's just getting it to where it needs to go. But sometimes, so you'll get to a level and it's a guy standing there with the ball, and you go to flick the ball and it flicks the guy. So the ball, what is considered the ball, every level changes. Like one level, there's a house and you're rolling a house through traffic. There's another one where you have like a bent club. You have like 20 bent clubs, and when you flick, all of them go, and you just need one of them to hit the flag. And the way you navigate between levels so each level is a hole in the world. And so you're just a little golf ball being flicked around the world into the next hole. And then you go in, and then you do the level. And then if you complete it, you go in and you can do a par level. And then there's like a challenge level, which changes it. One changed the level to where it was like in first person from the ball's perspective. Cool, fun little game. I have a feeling I'm going to play that until my Apple Arcade runs out. Because I think that's also on Steam now. So once that's gone, I'll hop over. I beat Thirsty Suitors. I don't know if I said that last week, Josh, but I 100%ed Thirsty Suitors. It's done. It's over. I defeated my Pati. She was talking mad shit to my mom, and I ended up fighting her. It was actually a really emotional ending to that. I've never, we've been in family stuff before, but the characters are really well written. My review's up on Game Chronicles if people want to go check it out. But the characters really well written. I really cared about the characters. I didn't care so much about playing the game, but I liked the characters so much that I was going to play through the game to see what was going on with them. That said, there's a wedding that the game hints at the whole game, and you never get to go to the wedding. Never.
Oh,
never.
We don't get to the fireworks factory.
No, it's what's the term? It was like Chekhov's gun, just sitting there. They didn't do anything with it.
Maybe it's going to be for the sequel.
Or maybe they do some DLC. Well, and I thought like, oh, hey, maybe this is like a secret ending that you have to unlock. And I 100%ed the game. So when the credits rolled and nothing happened, I was like, what the fuck? Where's my wedding? I want to see this wedding. It's the whole reason I'm home.
This game is completely new to me. This looks sick as hell.
It's fun.
I mean, it looks gorgeous. Maybe the gameplay isn't perfect, but it looks beautiful.
It looks great. It's dripping with fucking style. The characters, like I said, are really well written. The father character is my favorite, really endearing. Every night you go home and like he's sitting on the couch when you get there, so you just like sit next to him and talk about your day for a little bit until you fall asleep. And the scene always ends with him carrying you up to bed. And then you wake up the next. It's so sweet. It's the sweetest little thing. And it's got sweet little moments like that sprinkled throughout. Like it's the story is very much a Scott Pilgrim versus the World scenario where all your exes are like approaching you since your return home. Yeah. I liked it way more than I thought it was going to. Even with my problems, I was like, no, this is great. And it might no spoilers for my top 10 list for the year, but it might sneak in. It might sneak in. Because I can't put Tetris Effect on there because it didn't come out this year. Another game I played like 20 minutes of is Mosalina. It's like Mona Lisa, but Mosalina. And this is a little like 2D side-scrolling game where you have to, so you complete these worlds by hitting these two targets and then jumping out of the world in the portal. And every level gives you 3 objects that you can use. So like you might get 2 ladders that you can use that allow you to either like cross a gap or get up higher in an area. Another item you can use is a frog, which you can hop on their back and have them jump you across. You can do tentacles that you can connect to each other and like cross it like a bridge. It's really cool like that. And the thing is, the 3 items are always random. And so you can potentially lose. They can potentially give you stuff that's not going to have you finish the level. And so the game presents you with like, I think it's like 9 or 12 levels at a time, and it cycles you through them. So if you fail level 1, it'll be like, all right, let's take them to level 8, give them these 3 tools. Oh, you failed level 8 with these 3 tools. All right, let's take them to level 4 with these 3 tools. And you just cycle through all those levels until you've completed them all. It's kind of fun. It's kind of weird.
It's cool.
Yeah. I like the look of it. It's a little $4 or $5 game. I recommend it so far. I still need to go back and beat it because I only beat like 3 worlds. Excuse me. And then the last game I'm playing is Planet of Lana. This is, I forget the developer's name. I had it up earlier. But this plays very much like Limbo. You were a little girl on a nice, cute little planet until your family and your village gets taken by aliens. You befriend a little alien creature thing that you travel with. You use it to like trick the bigger monsters to like get around them. And the puzzles are really, really not challenging, but they do take some thinking. Like, for example, there's this one where there are these 3 buttons you have to press. And you know that there's a box that you can put one on. Your little guy can stand on one. And you're like, oh, what's this? What's this? Okay, there's this pig enemy over here. Well, your little buddy can control animals for a little bit, bring them over, and stand them on it. But even after he's done controlling him, there's too much of a gap. So like your guy can't control him and have him on the button. So what the trick ends up being is you get the box, you get your guy, control that guy, set him on the far one, have a trap go off that kills the boar and locks the boar on your spot, move your guy. It's got weird, fun little puzzles like that. Your girl, nobody says anything. Your girl just yells her brother's name, which is like Svitzel or something like that, which makes more sense now that I know that it's a Swedish developer. Like it's just like, she sounds Swedish. Is this is this Switzerland?
Fucking Swedes, they're everywhere. You can't get away.
What is going on over here? But that is cute. I'm almost done. There's this might get into moment of the year, Josh, but there's a moment like in the chapter 9 or something where you come down to the bottom of a mountain and the sun is either rising or setting, I forget, but you're running across this flat surface. Your little alien buddy's like ahead of you, and you're just going. The music is swelling. It's kind of like I'm playing Death Stranding, and don't be so serious.
Yeah, nice. I do love a good atmospheric song.
Yeah, as you're walking and not really doing anything else. Kind of like the Metal Gear back in the day, the climbing the ladder to Snake Eater. Like if you give me a good moment where I'm just traversing and I have a moment to reflect while a slow, somber song is playing, it feels pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, gamers universally hate that shit. So I love that you love it, Nick. That makes me so happy because when I see critiques of great moments like that, it's always the same thing. Like, I just want to play the game. Don't make me feel things.
I love that because it builds on so much. People are just idiots. People are just like, oh, I want instant gratification. I want to be able to press a button consistently and feel like I've achieved something. Where it's like that moment's like, no, I want to be able to absorb what's going on. That little. I mean, Nick said it best. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, climbing up the ladder.
Oh, great moment.
I mean, it's the only time I'm not like, oh my god. I'm just like, oh yes, I love this part. Just keep climbing,
guys. I just want to shoot bad guys. Okay, I don't want to. Hey, get the politics out of my game.
No, they just want to get. Oh my god. They just want to get. They just want to get to Nick. What's the bad guy's name in that one?
And Vulcan Raven? No, Volgan.
They want Volgan just to grab ballsack. That's all that is. That's all they want to watch is that.
I forgot how grabby Metal Gear Solid 3 is.
It's very grabby.
Am I playing anything else? No, that was it. That was those 4 games. I'm sure I have something else I could mention, but I'll bring it up next week when we're back. Yeah.
I'm excited to try this What the Golf thing because I also have Apple Arcade and I've never used it. It just sits there uselessly, taunting me on my phone. So I would love to check this out.
Play it with headphones on because just the sound of like stuff hitting is just so gratifying, and the music's very uplifting. I'm doing my best at the end of the year here to like find stuff that's making me happy because I've been a grumpy Gus the last few months.
Wow. Let's get in the holiday spirit, man. Let's be excited and happy.
And that's another thing. The last 2 or 3 years, like the holidays, I've just been a grump, and then like they end, and I'm like, man, I kind of didn't enjoy the holidays, did I?
Yeah.
So this year, I'm making an extra effort. Like, I'm gonna put a little peppermint in my coffee, or I'm gonna have a cup of eggnog. Yeah.
Are you eggnog fans? Is this an eggnog household?
Me some eggnog.
He loves it way more than I do, but I do.
I could literally do a whole gallon in one sit down and still want more.
Oh wow, like a store bought one though.
I've done homemade too.
Oh, I love fucking homemade. We have a great homemade eggnog recipe, which is what you want a Jew to tell you. Just absolutely, just for the craft, just for the fucking craft.
I will tell you this much: if it's not eggnog, my wife's grandmother makes this it's an alcoholic slushy, basically. It is like crack to the point where we have this huge container, and every time we're like getting ready to sit down, everyone makes sure their cups are refilled, and we'll eat that, and then after we're done, we all go back and get like thirds and fourths.
Yeah, not to be an alcohol counselor in this moment, but you say like crack, and tell me more about that. Is this a problem for the household?
No, I mean, honestly, we will never not go without it. Like we've gotten to the point where we start to spread the recipe. It's really good.
It's not better to say those words. Not better.
I mean, okay, how about this? It's addicting like sugar.
No, not worse. If you can believe it, we're actually
addiction.
Crack kills. I mean,
sugar
sugar one by.
Okay, fine. I'll go with a sugar-free. How about that? Does that help?
Josh, there's things I can't even buy here in the EU. I have to go to the American store, and they're labeled not food because you can't legally sell them as food here.
Oh, God.
Can you tell us one or two things that we would...
Lucky Charms, which I was like, I have to fucking get some Lucky Charms, are labeled not food.
Really?
Yeah. I thought Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but there is a version of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups I can buy at a regular store. They just aren't at grocery stores because these people are healthy and they eat bread and cheese and meat and things.
Wow.
And olives, fucking olives. That's what should be labeled as not food.
Fucking yeah, they're not
Mediterranean.
Fuck olives.
Disgusting. What else have we seen there? There was something else that I was like, oh my God, why is this here? And I want to say it was like Prego or something. And it's just because it was so much sugar in the sauce that they don't allow it to be sold as food.
That Prego does have a lot of sugar. Like I remember eating like a pasta at one point being like, this is kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
I mean, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die happy. So I'll continue to stuff my face.
That's great. And you know what? I mean, that's what holiday cheer is all about. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die happy.
I'm going to be honest with you. Everything gives you cancer. Everything makes you age faster. I'm going to die happy. So
okay, good.
I'm not going to drink the water anymore.
I mean, don't think about it. Like microwaves give you cancer. Microwave foods give you cancer.
Stay away from the microwave, Josh. Don't press your face against the microwave when it's on.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be inside of it.
So take the microwave away. Okay, now let's go to stoves. Okay, gas stoves. Well, if you take in the fumes too much, you start to get asthma, which then can develop into cancer, apparently.
David, we should ask him how he feels about vaccines next.
Wow. Where were you on January 6th? Now that I kind of think of it, because I'm not attracted to Josh. So just a quick question. That's what the FBI needs to do is hire me. Be like, do you find this man attractive? And if yes, like they are a terrorist. That's what this is.
I was definitely not on the steps with my ass cheeks spread going, fuck this country.
Oh, wow. Boy. All right. Hey, we're moving on because
Too specific.
I don't need Josh getting arrested and then me being down to no brothers on the show.
I actually don't even remember where I was at, to be honest. I was probably sitting here playing a video game.
Dude, it was crazy because I was at work just watching it all unfold and I was like, hey, there's Josh.
Wait a minute. I remember that ass. That's my ass.
Literally a plot line from Apple TV's The Morning Show is what you have just described.
Would I like the morning show? Every time I hear
Would you
about it,
like
I'm
the
like,
morning show?
I think I'd like it.
Do you like Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston?
I love them. They're both great.
Yeah, then I think you would like it because they're wonderful in it. They're hot in it. I think it's a good show. I think all Apple Television programs start to fail in season 3. I think it's just a curse. But I think it's fantastic if you have Apple TV.
I agree with the season 3 thing because I was thinking the same thing about another show on that service.
Yeah.
Mythic Quest 3. I love Mythic Quest. I love it so much.
Love Mythic Quest.
I wasn't big on season 3.
3. You know, the once a season episode where they go like back in time was fantastic in season 3. Like it was probably the greatest episode of season 3, but the rest of the season was just sort of
It did a thing that I don't like that shows do. It's where it's okay, the season 2 ends and like there's this big thing that changes how things are going to be in the future. And then season 3 happens and you're like, okay, we're building up to something. And they just build up right back to the status quo from before that big thing.
To reset.
And I it's kind of ridiculous because the seasons are shorter. So like, why do you need a reset so fast? I'd maybe understand if it was a 22 season episode.
I mean,
you don't.
But yeah, I'm going to check out Morning Show. I've started, what's the space show that people like? The
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind. I like it so far. Good. I hear season 3 on that one's a little shaky too.
I worry that maybe this, well, you know what? Trying, which was about a couple who is trying to have a baby, had a bad season 1, but season 3 was fantastic. So maybe it's just like they just can't do 3 full seasons.
I love the sound of that too. Like I love Apple. I'm getting ready to cancel it, so I'm like, I need to get through these shows before I cancel. Because
or maybe Arcade sinks its teeth into you and you do what the Arnold household has done and you just buy that fucking Apple One package and you've got it all. Which is why Arcade is just taunting me.
Those bastards.
How much is it? I don't know. I married an accountant, Josh. I don't look at money.
He does the math, so I don't have to.
When we go to classy European restaurants, he asks for me to get the wife menu. Like I don't see prices. That's not how that works in this world.
I mean, if the accountant is okay with it, it can't be that expensive.
Yeah, I mean, he can't do math, but otherwise, I think we're good as a household. That's what calculators are for.
That's concerning.
I do it. I do it in my head.
I hope
do it in my head.
I hope it's more for like private industries that he's the accountant for, and not like mom and pop shops or anything like that.
Yeah, he was when he worked full time, he was a forensic auditor. So essentially, he was there to help find fraud, which was more of Columbo than he was like a CPA. Like he would just be like, one more thing. Where did the children's lunches go? And then he would bust somebody.
I'm still concerned about the accountant who doesn't do math. Like I'm waiting for him to come in one day and be like, David, I forgot a zero. We're ruined.
I think more likely than you would think. More likely than you would think that scenario does come up, but it's usually because accountants are so risk averse. It's the other direction. He'll be like, "Oh, I was doing the budget and I forgot that food doesn't cost $10,000, so we now have all this money. Let's go on a cruise or something." Like it's just wild.
It's good things. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he's so risk averse. Just so risk averse.
I'm glad he's a good accountant, and you guys getting ready to go on.
That menu thing is real though. Just in case you've never come with your lady, they will at like old school Italian and French places, they will hand a separate menu to the woman, and it will not have the prices on it.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's sexist, but it's awesome.
they it's just a kid's menu with crayons. Here you go, honey. Jesus. It's essentially what it is. Color the Barbie princess house.
She'll have the nuggets, and I will have the foie gras. Thank you.
Can we get her some more silly juice?
Her sippy. Oh fuck. Okay, we're moving on.
Move on. Get us out of misogyny.
We're riffing too much. Hey, Josh, you got some news for us?
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
Yeah. So let's start out, since we're talking about shows. Fallout's TV show. Um, Obviously today they showed off some images from the show on Amazon, from Amazon, and Todd Howard basically came out and said, "Yeah, it's going to be canon."
So it's taking
I
place
saw this.
during
That's
like
so
Fallout
hard,
3
right?
and all
Because
that stuff,
what does
right?
canon
Yeah.
mean in the Fallout universe?
It just means everything except for 76. I jokingly say that is probably because 76 actually is technically part of it, but um, basically it's going to be part of like their mainstream stuff. So all their like, I mean, I think it said it was like everything except for the RTS version, right? Is technically lore.
I think yeah, everything except for what is it called, Fallout Tactics or something is
Tactics, yeah.
Yeah.
everything except for that is all in the same universe. I like this. I don't think you have to like do that cute thing where it's like it's an adaptation, but it's not anywhere in the like. I think this is them owning it and being like, no, like even if this is shit, like this is something taking place. I don't know what the setting is. Have they said what the setting is?
San Francisco. It's following Lucy, who just leaves the vault after some unknown crisis, and it's based in San Francisco.
Okay, I like that. So you'll get some of the Republic
fun.
of California. You'll get. It does make me wonder: are we going to see characters from like New Vegas or characters from Fallout 1 or 2? Like that,
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool.
he did say that there's actually a couple of things. So what he's seen of it so far, Todd was like, "Oh yeah, there's actually some parts where I'm like, man, I kind of wish we did this for the games," which has got me interested because I'm like, you never really hear like, we didn't hear anybody from Naughty Dog reach out and go, "Oh yeah, The Last of Us. We wish we would have done that," or you know what I mean?
Because the folks from well, at least Neil Druckmann was on it. Like, hey, this is what we did for that. We're doing one for one over here. Craig Mazin.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very interested. Like I think this is by far like the most I've been excited for an adaptation of a game.
I see this and I see it's the complete polar opposite of Halo. When the Halo show was coming out, they were trying to distance themselves as far from the source material. The showrunner famously like didn't want to talk to developers, didn't want to have any of that. This feels more like them owning like, hey, yes, we respect. And I hate saying that because it makes me sound like I'm like siding with like the crazy fans out there that are like, no, you got to do it this. No, but it sounds like you respect the source material. You want to tell your own story, but you also understand that it is within this realm. It is within this world that people like. So you're like, okay, like we're not going to mess with this thing you like over here, but it is going to be.
You know, they still have their free reign. Like, okay, yeah, we have some source material we have to keep true to. But as far as like what we want to do with it, it's open for our interpretation.
And I think that's the way you should go into an adaptation is,
Yeah.
Hey, we love you guys. We think this is great over here. We're going to try and do something. We hope you'll love it. Instead of,
I'm going to be,
man, fuck Halo, fuck
honest.
The Witcher.
So the one thing that with Halo that made me more mad than anything was they immediately went to, we're going to unmask Master Chief. That's the one rule you have to follow. Like literally, that's the one rule you can't fuck up, and you've somehow fucked that up.
Yeah.
Go ahead, David.
I wonder about sort of the consistency of all this. Like, will it be like being in the game? I think that some adaptations have done a really good job of matching the tone and tenor, not just the lore. Like I think lore gets a little tricky as well because your version of Fallout was different than my version of Fallout. That's the whole nature of it being an interactive game. But if it's like there's an NCR, that's fine. Like I'm totally into that if that's what we're talking about with lore. And then I just wonder how they're going to recreate that quintessential Bethesda experience of me talking to a character and them clipping through 6 or 7 walls in the middle of the narrative. I just, without that, I can't say this is a Fallout TV show.
So I can't speak at least for that portion of like, oh, I'm going to be able to, I'm going to glitch my way throughout this whole game and I'm going to, fuck with it. But I do see them like developing these characters that maybe are those play styles. Like we got, obviously you have that one person who likes to be really stealthy and use the shadows and melee weapons. Like you'll get somebody who's like that. You'll get the goody goody two shoes character who wants to do all good and wants to fix the world, and then you're going to get the one guy who's just like, no, I just want to watch the world burn, and he's just going to do whatever he can. He's going to shoot what are the nukes, Nick?
Fat boys.
Fat boys.
Fat boy.
Shoot fat boys left and right, set off a million nuke mines and stuff like that. So I'm sure we'll get introduced characters who are like bits and pieces of everybody's play style.
I think they'll lean into like the campy, tongue-in-cheek goofiness of Fallout
Yes.
to make a like. I think of like who's the cross-dressing mutant. I forget her name. What is her name?
Lily, right?
Is it Lily?
From Vegas, New Vegas?
Is that New Vegas?
right?
Okay. Maybe I'm getting Lily and Fox mixed up. But just leaning into like Fox is like this super mutant, but he's like one of the smarter super mutants, if I remember correctly. And
Fox. Yeah, Fox was that.
it's all New Vegas and 3 are all like blended up in this noggin together right now. But yeah, I think if you just lean into the kookiness of it, but also kind of give us that dreaded terror. Like I want to see a death claw more than anything. That's the first. Like Walton Goggins is a ghoul, cool as hell. Show me
Great.
a death claw.
Love it. Show me a death claw.
They also said that we should get an origin story to Vault Boy.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the Vault Boy character.
Yes.
Wow. I look forward to covering. I look forward to covering that on Gimmicks, where we do a flashback episode where we're at the Vault-Tec headquarters and it's some like marketing exec who's got a pitch the next day and is like, fuck, what the fuck can I use for this? And it's just a 40-minute drama piece of him like rushing an assignment to the end. That'd be great. We'll cover it. We'll do that.
I look forward to everyone being Vault Boy for Halloween next year.
Did you all ever watch that short Nuka break? I think it came out back in 2011, maybe, which was sort of a fan-made creation of like some folks who were in the wasteland and they were trying to find, I don't know, water or something. It was just a fun little like fan-made, but it was pretty well done, pretty high quality.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah. Pretty good. Zach Frinfrock was the sort of creative eye on that, and he was I don't know, he was kind of in the spotlight for a while because of it, because it was really well done. I mean, they did like the VATS thing, which I don't think you can do in a more prestige television thing. Like I hope that I actually hope we pass on for this Amazon series. I hope that at one point in time someone doesn't just pause the movie and like start looking at somebody's arm and be like, I could hit this with 56% accuracy.
They do they not Rad-X, but they do one of the drugs, and then they get that.
Jet.
It's a one time, like Walton Goggins does it as a joke one time, and then like it maybe it becomes a thing later on. But like lean into the goofiness of it. I could see a scene like that.
I could see him doing like the Jet where everything slows down, and then we get like the
Jet is what it is.
What's the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, where he does like, he thinks it's all slow mo. He thinks about what he's going to do each step. That's what we're going to get, something like that, but it's going to be in the Fallout style.
Wow.
I think it'll all come down to tone.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. It looks like Fallout. It does have a very bleak look, and I do like that.
Hey, if Twisted Metal can pull it off, so can this. Josh, what else we got?
Yeah, moving on. Lethal Company has passed Resident Evil 4 Remake to become 2023's best Steam game.
Wow.
So are you both
never heard of this?
So, okay, so Phasmophobia, basically.
Yes.
Where you're not hunting a ghost. You're actually going in to a planet or into a big building, and essentially you're just trying to gather shit that you can sell for this company before the monster gets you.
Okay.
And the concept is 3 people, I don't know what the max is, but for sure 3 people go into the building, 1 person stays outside, and that 1 person operates each door for you while the monster's chasing you.
What did like a big streamer play this or something? Like this came out of nowhere. What?
I don't know exactly what made it so popular. I think the first time I heard of it was when our brother Matt reached out to us and said, "You guys need to play this." But at some point before that, someone big had to have played it. It even says in here that it's a popular title amongst streamers right now, but it doesn't specifically say like who brought it forward. Like there has to be somebody big who actually like showed it, and it just picked up traction from there.
I'm just always a little suspicious when like this little itty bitty tiny game like just takes off. Like I was suspicious of Among Us, but then like we were all locked away, so I'm like, okay, this is fine. Among Us is like a year and a half.
Special circumstance, yeah.
Yeah, but this I'm like, who owns this? Like I want to get out my red string and start to connect the dots and find out who owns this.
You think this is like a Halliburton thing? You think you're being like brought in? This is like deep.
I think this is at least 3 levels deep. 3 levels.
Okay. 3 levels.
3. Just 3.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Have you played it? Is it good?
I have not, but I keep seeing videos on it, and I kind of want to play it. But it's definitely one of those games where with Phasmophobia, I didn't play with much randos. I don't trust random people.
No,
I can't even trust my own brothers and friends when I'm in there, especially when I'm doing it in VR.
It's true.
Which is 10 times more terrifying.
Wait, is this a VR game?
No, not this one. I was talking about Phasmophobia. Like, I did Phasmophobia in VR, and the one credit I will give VR that mouse and keyboard doesn't have is I could hold 2 objects in my hand at the same time and have 2 more objects in my holsters, where you can only have the 1 object in your hand and 2 items in your holster. So like it was beneficial to that, but at the same time to have the ghost come out of fucking nowhere, or do you be locked into a room? Yeah, I was like,
not
fuck
interested
this.
in that. No,
yeah,
not interested in that at all.
So I can't trust them in that. Why am I going to trust a random in this?
This looks fascinating. I don't know that I would play this. It looks too scary.
I mean,
this looks too scary. Everything's too scary.
$10. And the monsters aren't like super terrifying. You can see how, literally what you're seeing there is the graphics of the game. It's not like it's going to be like the most terrifying thing you've ever seen in your life. I think it's more of just like the thrill that comes from it.
Yo, don't knock the graphics, Josh. Resident Evil was scary back in the day, okay?
See, that's the thing. Music does a lot of that work, though, in the Resident Evil, I will say. Sound design was so on point because there were moments that I was terrified and I was like looking in a cabinet and I remember being like, I have to put this down. The cabinet is too scary. Some fucking dogs are going to appear out of nowhere.
I have to pause this and leave the room.
There's something beautifully haunting about walking to the dining room and hearing the grandfather clock ticking, or even, honestly, going into the piano room and playing Moonlight Sonata.
Not if you're Chris. You can't play that piano for shit.
No, you listen to Rebecca fail like 30 times, walk out of the room, walk back in, and she's like, oh, while you were gone for 3 seconds, I remembered how to play.
That's how it works, actually. That's how it works.
Come on. Exactly
just don't look at me right now, and I can do it.
Yeah.
What else we got, Josh?
Yeah, moving on. Is Ubisoft out of control? I changed the title, but there's 2 things I don't know if you guys have seen or heard. First one being somebody at Ubisoft fucked up and accidentally released info for Beyond Good and Evil's remaster. Basically, since it happened, they released another tweet basically like, oh, hey, sorry, someone had a accident. So here's this. And any video content. So they actually had a 30-minute gameplay video of it on YouTube. They has since then been removed, and they are working hard to go after anybody who reposted, basically, or has it post somewhere else. Like, they are hardcore, like, no, you shouldn't have this. And it's like, okay, why are you making that such a big deal? I mean, I get, like, yeah, someone fucked up, but, like, everybody else owns it. It's just like, yeah, guys, it's happening. Here you go. Get excited. But seriously, the fact that you're not wanting people to know about it, like, that's kind of worrisome.
Yeah, so I think you buried the lead a little bit. It looks like they accidentally released the game, so some people had a copy.
Oh yeah, so I forgot to mention that some people actually had the game.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. That part is.
And then before that, Ubisoft. So people were playing the newest Assassin's Creed, and they actually started getting pop-ups for ads. And Ubisoft was like, oh, that was actually a glitch. We fixed that. It's like, Ubisoft.
These were like loading screens, right? I remember seeing this. Yeah.
It's like, Ubisoft, that is not a glitch. You motherfuckers are putting in-ad game or ads in games. You're working on that.
Yeah, and not like ads in games where you're driving around a track in Forza and you see like an advertisement for a different video game.
No,
Like
like
Assassin's Creed, you're not walking around. I don't even know where the most recent Assassin's Creed is.
Mirage.
But you're not walking around ancient blank and bumping into like you should buy Good and Evil. This
You're not running into
this is
Pepsi Man
wild.
tells you to buy a Pepsi.
I mean, I would kill him. So yes,
Oh yeah, who wouldn't?
that would
I
be
mean,
awesome.
if I could kill a Pepsi Man, yeah, I'm gonna go right behind him, shove my little wrist hidden blade into his
Yeah,
abdomen, and then walk away.
If you
I
want
haven't played. I haven't played one of those Assassin's Creed games in a while. Are we still bouncing back to the present because you're an ancestor of these people? Because you could put an ad there. That would be fine.
yeah, you can put him in an abandoned mall, and when you come out,
Yeah.
like one of the kiosks is like still running for some reason, and oh hey,
Yeah.
Rainbow Six has a new skin. Cool.
Yeah. Desmond's a gamer. I could get into that, but that's his name, right?
Desmond's
The
been
weird
dead for a hot minute.
girl. I don't know. Like this shit.
He's been dead since.
Spoilers.
Spoiler
Wow.
for I think it's now 12 years old, maybe longer,
Uh,
older.
Oh, might be kissing like 15. Like just these games are ancient.
I mean, I don't even know what they're doing. But last time I remember, like with Black Flag, it was you were a new employee, and your task was to jump into this person's like ancestry stuff, and basically plays their ancestor, and it's like.
I think that's
Okay.
one of those. That's one of those things that like the concept is so brilliant in the first game, and then you're like, oh, this game did so well, so we want to keep going. And you're like, we just can't drag out these ancestors things because we've already set up the scarcity of this. How can you make 7 more games with this concept
Well,
going
not only
on?
that, but you killed the guy who we're following his ancestors, and it's like.
Yeah, but he had a baby, or I don't know. I
Not
don't
that
actually know that to be
he
true,
was-
so don't follow up with me.
Desmond was as interesting as a washcloth. Like
Yeah,
he didn't
In
have
his
much going
defense,
on.
though, we only
but
spent like 5 minutes total with him through each game.
it naturally felt like the series was heading towards like okay, now we're gonna set this in the future. Which just fucking do it. Do like a fast moving assassins. It's cyberpunk. Like you can still scale the buildings, but you're doing it at a much faster rate. There's flying cars that you're jumping across. Oh my god, I'm talking myself into this game.
I mean, let's be honest. And this is not to like make like just try to bring it down in any way, shape, or form, but it's Batman. This is not Rockstar, Jesus.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady's Batman. That is, I mean, let's be honest. That's essentially you got the grappling hook, you got fast movements, you've got gliding, which is very it's easy thing to do. It's all there.
No, I want a Batman Beyond game.
I do too. I still want a Batman Beyond. That'd be so cool.
Josh, what do we got next?
Yeah, moving down the list. Bethesda.
Oh my gosh, I saw this.
Yeah, Bethesda, right there with Ubisoft. Essentially, they're going through all the Steam reviews right now. Anybody who basically gave it like a negative review, and basically just saying like, "Well, I'm sorry that you thought the game was boring, but when we went to the moon, there was nothing there, and we're trying to replicate that." It's like, no.
Who was hired to do this? What did they put out a call and was like, hey, have you gotten dumped by someone, but you never got over it and had all these reasons why they shouldn't have dumped you? We need to hire you here at Bethesda to respond to critiques about our game. Because this reads to me like somebody who got a Dear John letter and was like, no, babe, you don't understand. Like, you doing my laundry is awesome. Like, that should fulfill you. Like, don't you want a man like me? You're wrong. Not me.
Yes.
I wish a publisher or developer had the gall to like go through all their negative reviews and just respond with a "fuck you." Just go through each and just nothing else. Just an unsolicited "fuck you." Because I think that'd be more honorable. That'd be something everyone would be like, you know what? I kind of respect it.
I mean, it's Wendy's social media guy. Ever since that happened, all these other social medias are trying to be like him, and it's like, no, you can't be him.
Oh no, this isn't Wendy social media, at least at one point, was clever. And that as played out as that is, this is just like, no, listen, hey, look, guy.
Saying that's like, this is the equivalent of that. Like, you're trying to be like, oh, well, just because you come up with these witty comments, like it's a desolate game and there's nothing going on because all these planets are boring and empty. like, what did you expect? Like, we went to the moon and did that too.
This person,
Like, in
this
real
person,
life.
from the few that I've read, this person isn't being witty. This person is being
No,
genuine.
they're-
This is
yeah, they're
this is
like-
genuine.
This is ChatGPT, right?
Yeah,
like,
it is
like
definitely
yeah.
ChatGPT.
yeah, okay, great.
They've got
great.
some
I'm glad I wasn't the
AI
only one getting that vibe.
pulling
No, it's
quotes.
definitely,
Like, hey, what would Todd Howard say about this game?
Yeah. Write a response like you are Todd Howard, and then it was too insane, so they couldn't use it. So they said like, okay, write it like you're a different version of Todd Howard from a universe where he, was a little bit cooler. That'd be good.
It was pulling all the fucked up shit Todd Howard says in private emails, and they're like, no,
No.
this shit he says in public.
yeah, why?
I think the biggest thing here is just like the draw, like more this year than any other year, like the power of Steam and just like the thirstiness of developers and publishers on Steam to like, oh hey, we need people to wish list us here. Oh hey, we need to, we have a mixed review. Like our recent reviews are mixed. We need to go figure out what's going on here. Like the number of times I'm listening to another podcast or I'm reading something about a game and people bring up like, oh, this game only has 200 Steam reviews. It's kind of crazy how much everything is going through Steam. And this is what I'm saying, Josh, whenever I'm telling people like, you can maybe go download Alan Wake 2 on the Epic Game Store. This is the kind of shit I'm saying because there's an over dependence on Steam. And now we've got ChatGPT Howard over here.
I get that. Sorry.
The game dev community is just any new developer is like peeing their pants about all this shit. How many wish lists do I have? What does this mean? Because they're trying to turn art that they've created into the world and get it to be seen by people. And it's so hard to do when Steam's got this stranglehold. And you've got companies like Bethesda who are trying to like capitalize on their profit. When what made Fallout good was that Fallout was a good game. What made Skyrim so popular is that you wouldn't stop releasing it for shit. Like you can play it on your toaster like that. Like having good games that are accessible to people is what makes commercial success. But you get somebody with no offense to anyone listening with an MBA, but you get somebody with an MBA in here and they go, numbers go up. That's what I'm here to like look at are these cute little graphs. And this is how you make the graph perform. And
they look at the one spot, and to go back to like the indies, like how many Steam Next Fest do we need every year? Because the companies all, how many do we have? Do we have 3 or 4 years? It's quarterly at this point, and it kind of drives me crazy every time it comes up. But to listen to devs talk about it, like they're pushing the wish list because then like, oh hey, because then they can go out and pitch to publishers and be like, hey. More money. Look, we just got 100,000 wish lists in a week. And
it's a more of a vicious pre-order. Like back in the day, pre-orders actually meant something.
Yeah,
but nowadays,
that's right.
No one wants to pre-order because let's be honest, there's no benefit to it. And when you pre-order and the game ends up being shit, you're more pissed. Like I can't tell you the last time I pre-ordered a game. It's been so long because I feel like every time a pre-order came out, I was disappointed by the game. I think like the last game I actually 100% pre-ordered was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and before that, I think it was Watch Dogs.
I don't think I've pre-ordered in a while. It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Like, I remember, like, okay, if you pre-order through Target, you get this skin or whatever. If you pre-order at GameStop, you get this extra gun. If you, like, the pre-orders meant something. You're like, okay, well, who am I going to pre-order from? We're now pre-orders are shit. You don't get anything from them, and even then, like I said, if the game ends up being terrible, you're out that $70, which is not a new thing. Games have been, they were obviously a majority of them were 60, but at one point there were a few games that were actually $70 back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is why I say just play everything on Game Pass. Just play it on Game Pass.
But then it comes back to your.
How do you get on Game Pass?
Like, I will admit that's one thing Microsoft admitted, that they're trying to get the Game Pass in front of every single screen. That's why they're pushing it on, trying to get Nintendo to do it. That's why they're trying to get PlayStation to do it. Like they're doing whatever they can to get in front of every screen. That is smart in my opinion. If you give me that kind of access, then yes, I agree 100% that I want it.
The capitalists.
But
they want it on every screen.
In the sense of Steam and Epic and was it GOG? I think is the other one that has like their own platform.
Yeah.
Like they keep it strictly to those. Like if you were to go branch out and say, well, you can play all your Steam games on an Xbox, you can play all your Steam games on a Switch, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do that. But they just don't. That's my problem. Microsoft is at least willing to be like, yeah, you can play it anywhere. As long as we can get permission and it works, yeah, we're going to put it on everything.
That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
That's all I got too. I can't top that. It's monolithic, and I just wonder, video game art is probably one of the areas of art in which we need to explore the way in which public investment is made. I think it's going to remain difficult because it's so stuck in a corporate environment, even for like incredibly indie developers to be successful, that eventually we're going to need some other avenues to get this in front of people so that really weird, unique, cool, new ideas can surface. I think otherwise we're going to have a huge stagnation in the field of video games.
Everyone just play game jams. Just do the game jams, everybody.
Just game jams. Yeah.
Game jams.
I just feel that at this rate, it's going to be AAA companies are basically going to start going under. Indie developers are going to find new innovative ways to get things out, and they're going to dominate and become the new AAAs. And honestly, I feel like as a consumer, we're going to have to learn to not nitpick everything. Like this year especially, it feels like all these games that were anticipated to be Game of the Year, or currently have Game of the Year, they were like really hot for like the first week or two that they were out.
And they sort of studied,
yeah. And then people start coming out and like, oh, Spider-Man 2. Well, if I look at all these windows, there's a lot of copy and paste. Okay, well that's such a very
small, let's go back. Let's go back to the PS1 Spider-Man. Like calm your tits here. Like come on.
The internet is just everyone.
They want to nitpick everything.
The universal praise the first week, and then the after, and then that's everywhere. That's not just games.
Yeah.
The contrarian opinions come out a week or later. Like
it just seems like this year, especially, like I've seen more of it now than ever. And it's like I get that you want your games to be so detailed, but at the same time, I'm not going near the fruit stand to stare at the fruit and go, oh, well, that's missing like 3 pixels per fruit. Like, I don't give a shit.
A fruit stand with no bananas? What the fuck?
They reused the same fruit stand guy from the first game. This is fucking trash.
Bullshit.
Like,
get these politics out of my video games.
Just because Call of Duty is 250 gigabytes does not mean every other game has to be in that. I mean, and let's be honest. The only reason theirs is 250 gigabytes is because they don't know how to develop shit. They're so hardcore into the copy and paste.
I'm gonna get Josh off. Josh, I'm taking you off your soapbox. You're off. Okay. No one's playing video games anymore. They're all gonna be doing puzzles a year from now.
Yes.
What's next?
They'll go back to the coloring books, the adult coloring books.
Those are fun.
But to not to take us back onto the topic, but I do wonder how far off we are from David Zaslav keynoting some conference that like Todd Howard and people are at, where they start to say like, oh, you know what we should do is we should actually pull shit that we were planning on releasing because that's the way to make more money, that there's tax loopholes and shit that are designed to actually keep art out of the hands of the public, and that's the way to go. I think that if I were going to make a 2024 prediction, it's that shit from that we've been seeing happen in the streaming world is going to come into gaming, and we're not ready for that. We're going to be pissed about it.
Yeah.
Do you see that he called himself courageous for what he was doing?
Man, and I do not say this with malice in my heart, but the world would be better without some people, and this is one of them.
True.
Go away.
Josh, what's next?
Dave the Diver, an indie game. I believe this is David. This is your cup of tea. Let's see what you got.
You know, so first of all, I love Dave the Diver because Dave is my ideal man in that he wears skin tight clothes and is chubby. But the controversy that came out over this was that Dave the Diver, which is developed by a small team at a large company, received nods as best independent game. And I thought this was just like a fascinating piece of news because it really reflects where media critique has been for like small independent movies and how that was viewed. Like what makes independent? Is it the style, which is what the nominating committee is considering here, because Dave the Diver has a very, very, very high res pixel art feel, but it is still pixel art. Is that an indie game, even though it's made by a team at a giant company? Or does indie mean that you're Concerned Ape and you developed the game all by yourself from start to finish, music, art, programming, everything? And I just thought, like, this is kind of exciting. And I would love talking about Dave the Diver because it gives me a chance to look at Dave some more.
It's tricky because, yeah, indie, like, they're doing it from their own pocket, which technically, but at the same time, like, you think independent, you think, oh, grassroots, they pulled their bootstraps up and made a thing. So it's one of those things where it's like, I go on the side of it not being an indie, just out of respect to other smaller games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but the idea of like what makes an independent is not new to us. It's been part of politics for forever. Like, do you really call someone who is part of a system an independent? Like, is that what that is? Because to be system is to be aligned. Or if you made all your money because you screw over people, like, isn't that sort of what you're aligned to? And I don't know. Like, me as an independent developer, which is just a hobby, it would be so weird for me to see my name next to something like this, where sure, you might have a little bit of skin in the game, but your safety net was so secure and taught up by this megacorp, and that's where all of your publishing, money is going. I don't know. It's weird to see it there. I'd love for it to get its due, but just as like a good game, not as an independent game of the year.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think because this was voted on, I guess these were the judges for the Game Awards, who are a mixed bag of journalists around the industry and maybe some developers, putting this up there. So maybe they considered it indie. Yeah, it's like you said, like maybe they considered it indie, or they just didn't care, and they're like, yeah, Dave the Diver, nominated. Because Jeff Keighley, him coming out, he basically came out and said it was the judges. but he also,
and you know what, I worked with volunteers and I blamed volunteers for things all the time, even when I had done them. I was like, oh, the volunteer committee voted on that, I suppose.
But he also came out and said, like, well, like, the definition of indie is going to be different for everybody, and I blame the judges.
Yeah,
the most Jeff Keighley answer. It's a great game. I enjoy. Hey, look at there's Jeff himself. Look at him.
Stop. Get him off my screen.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Hey, they're beefing up security too, by the way. So no GTA guys or whatever. And that is a tough category because honestly, my heart says Dave the Diver or Dredge.
Dredge was great too, but also, like, I don't think about Dredge as indie.
Okay, yeah, Team 7. Oh, fuck. And Annapurna, they're not. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only thing on here that's like truly indie, like, I'd never fucking heard of this before, was Sea of Stars. Like, this Sabotage Studio. Like, that came out I think that's just a couple people.
Well, they win by default then.
Sea of Stars is fine. Sea of Stars is fine, and I don't need Chrono Trigger heads coming after me. It was fine. It was good. It was okay.
Chained Echoes was better. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god. Well, and Dredge was great. Dave the Diver is more my speed than Dredge, but just because I like a little hug, and Dredge was a little bit of a scary hug, and I didn't need that.
Dredge was one of those games I still need to go back and play because it's got DLC now too. Cocoon, I don't know. Like, I think people who game, people who know games and like know the limbo and inside part of it are like, yeah, Cocoon is cool. Da, 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 da. I think Dave the Diver has kind of reached Concerned Ape levels where it's like people know, like, people who I know who don't game at all know Dave the Diver.
No, Dave the Diver. But it's because Dave is so cute. You should have video game characters that look a little bit more like gamers. That's what I'm saying.
I like Dave's friend, the one that makes the guns for him. He was just such an anime dork. I loved him.
He was doing it all for his girl, and I love that. I love having a person in your life.
Such a weird game. All those boss fights. Oh my gosh. Such a weird game. I love it so much. There's part of me, it's like I kind of want it to win.
just to get its flowers. Maybe that's what you need. Is you need like a mid category of like you're not AAA, you're not everything to the wall, but you're not just a guy in a basement or in a garage.
You're a good game. Just the good game award, kind of like the
good game award,
kind of like the good boy award, like the man's best friend type award, like the hey, this is the game you can count on from this year to be there for you when you need it after having a bad day, or you just need some distraction.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Good boy award.
Great category.
I like that.
At least do like character awards, like best new character, Dave the Diver.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's a very MTV Movie Awards version of this. I like that. Or Teen Choice.
Hey, everything old is new
everything
again.
up. I mean, I'd be okay with those new categories over like the top streamer or content creator, all that stuff. Like I don't give two shits about all that. Who cares?
Wow, literally on a podcast that is content creation, and you're shitting on us, but that's fine. Fine, whatever. Just it.
Like,
wow.
Do you name one person on that list that you know?
That's fair. That's fair. But I don't. I've watched now like 3 streams in my life. I actually get a lot of anxiety opening Twitch because as soon as you enter, the person who's playing a video game, which to me requires at least 80% of your cognitive capacity, is like, oh, hi, Dimuma, thanks for logging in. Don't acknowledge me. I like it. Imagine going to live theater and someone being like, oh my God, Josh, so good to see you. That's Nick, please, here's your seat.
That's really weird that they acknowledged you, because I think like the unspoken rule is to not acknowledge somebody entering your chat unless you chatted, unless you said, hey, what are we doing? And then they responded to you in the chat. But if you just came in there and they're like, dude, what's up?
Yeah, it scared me.
Is that what they did?
I was scared away. Yes,
Jeez,
I was scared
yeah,
away.
you do not do that.
They were also playing Fortnite, and I don't know what Fortnite. I have trouble watching it because I get so anxious. I could never play this game.
I can teach you. I'll teach you.
Will you teach me? Thank you.
I'm sorry. I was scrolling the show notes and I didn't realize you put a picture of Lily or Daisy in here, and it scared the shit out of me.
All right. I didn't mean to frighten you, but I thought, is this who you meant? Because this is Lily.
She made me jump.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
That's my babe right there, Lily.
Beautiful. The kind of super mutant you take home to see mom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's so great.
Josh, you got a meme for us? Me time.
Yeah, I sure do. Next to Nick's on the screen. It is the good old Tom and Jerry meme of Spike and Tom sword fighting. Spike is Bethesda and Tom is Ubisoft, and they're fighting over who is the top shitty company. And it's then got Jerry on the bottom with his little smiley face. And it's me knowing that they both are, because this week, more than anything, has shown me that just because you're a AAA company and you have these wonderful universes that we all love and want to be a part of and play their games, they're assholes. Like AAA companies have honestly, they just don't care about it. To me, at least, I feel like they just don't care about the consumer. It's, oh, you had a bad experience. That sucks. Anyway.
Yeah.
If this meme has taught me anything, it's that dog's name is Spike.
Yes. Actually,
this meme teaches me anything is, why is Jerry so high in this picture? Is that what you're getting out of this too? Like,
yes, I always thought he was high in this picture.
It's high as kite.
He ate some moldy blue cheese. He can't help himself.
Oh my gosh, he's just he's gone.
R.I.P. Jerry.
I mean, it's blazed.
Jerry's like, but what if the dog and the cat don't have to fight, man? Jerry, you're stoned. Hey, so last bit of stuff here. In the very first, Josh, it was the very first episode of the year, wasn't it?
Yes.
The very first episode of the year, the bros all gave what their most anticipated game of the year was. So we thought it'd be fun to reflect on that and see how those games turned out for each of us. We also had some resolutions that we all gave out. We're going to see how we're doing with those. I almost called you Dave the Diver.
Oh, wow. Wow. It would be such an honor.
What is wrong with
such an honor.
David? If you have anything you'd like to add to these as we go through,
I will. I totally will. I'm ready to judge you. Yeah.
Yes, please.
So most anticipated games, we'll go through these one at a time. Josh had 2. He cheated. Josh's most anticipated games of the year were Spider-Man 2 and the RE4 remake. Josh, how did those turn out?
So RE4 remake definitely was really good. Actually, I enjoyed it. DLC, I haven't played it yet, but I keep seeing wonderful things about it. The game in general has been really good. So like, it made it was worth the anticipation. Spider-Man 2, on the other hand, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to get murdered. I haven't picked it up in a hot minute,
Oh.
but I think mainly because I've been so busy. But I don't anticipate me finishing it before the end of the year. And honestly, it'll probably be a game I end up circling back to. I'm not saying that it's bad.
Mm.
I just feel like there's a bunch of hash and repeat to what they did with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And what little they added to this, to me, it was just, okay, we're going to throw in Venom. We're going to throw in 2 Spider-Men. And that was really it. That's all I really got from it.
Josh was
So
on
far.
Kotaku in action complaining about, they made Mary Jane ugly in this one. Ah!
They made the one death girl your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they did that.
I have not played Spider-Man 2 yet, but the people in my life who are Spider-Man heads and have a Spider-Man podcast have really spoken very highly of this. And so that's the only opinion that I really have in my life. This will definitely be a game that I play through because I love this fucking shit. I love going and finding little collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to your point, Josh, like that, there's a requirement for that to have time and space in your life. And I wonder if this was released at the right time of year for people to have that time and space in their lives.
So I feel like for those who maybe don't have as hectic of a life or lifestyle as far as towards the end of the year, it's perfect. It's definitely that good holiday game to like get it with your new console if you don't already have it and just be able to relax, play it, and enjoy it. Perfect. But for someone like, I mean, I'm going to say us, we're all working our jobs. We all do, podcasts on the side, or we have our own little side gigs. I have a very limited time, and I'm still going back and playing games that released at the beginning of this year. I've got Dead Space that I'm trying to finish up. I still need to go back and finish Final Fantasy 16. I mean, my list keeps growing, and I just keep hopping. I'm not able to finish it because I'm like, oh, I got to get on to the next big thing, or I want to play this because I've been looking forward to this for so many years.
Yeah. I think the other thing that hurt Spider-Man 2 is that it released the same day as Super Mario Wonder, and they had an opportunity to pull a Barbieheimer and call it I came up with this Pachydermbiote, and they didn't do that, and that's a miss. That's a miss on them, and I put that out in the world for free, so you could have taken that Nintendo/Sony.
You fucked up.
Neither one of them wanted to hop on that train.
Should have boosted that. You should have boosted that because it was the same fucking thing. It was A-Bomb and Hot Girl in Pink, and those were the 2 games that were being released.
Yeah, like I said, I'm more disappointed in the fact that it's not that it's a bad game. It's just there's just not enough time in the world, and they expect you to put so much time into it. Like I'm looking at my stacks of beautiful physical copies, and I have, just as an example, actually 2 examples.
Oh god, they're still in their plastic.
Still in their plastic of Horizon Forbidden West and Last of Us Part 2.
Josh, so what I'm hearing here is that Spider-Man 2 doesn't suck. You suck, sir.
You suck.
I think that if it was more, how can I say this?
Save it for Kotaku in action, sir.
Yes, I'm gonna save it for all the Reddit people. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just that I enjoyed RE4 to the point where I'm even now still playing it. I've beaten it several times now. I enjoyed Resident Evil 4. Spider-Man 2, it's not that it's bad, it's just there's so much there, and it's not as linear.
Well, I think that's why Miles Morales, when it came out 3 years ago, really hit, because it was a nice little, it was a bite.
Perfect.
It wasn't like a big thing of Oreos. It was like that little personal pack of Oreos that you get in, get out, you're done, you get a nice little story, and it still looks good. It's still New York.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still swinging around. And the other thing I will say, because I hope that somebody right now is playing Spider-Man 2 while listening to this podcast, is that it's like a warm blanket. You don't wear a warm blanket in July. You need a warm blanket at the right time, and you do the story stuff, and then you like swing around the fucking town, you collect backpacks or whatever shit, you listen to podcasts. And so I hope that you get to that point, Josh. And you know what? Horizon Forbidden West is the same fucking game. So the reason that that's still in plastic is because it's the same thing, except you don't swing on webs.
It is, and
The Last of Us
I will
Part
let you
1
get
and 2
there.
is also the same thing.
Yeah,
Josh, I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if you know Sony, but that girl's got a type.
That's
She does.
fair.
She does. She does.
That's
That's
fair.
true. That's true.
Well, that was my anticipations. We'll go ahead and move on to Jake. Jake picked Street Fighter 6.
Jake, what'd you
I think great choice.
It was a great choice. So I ended up playing Street Fighter 6. I don't know if Jake got much time with it. That game is oozing with style. I don't know shit about playing fighting games. I would get my ass handed playing online, but I was still having fun. They have and I'm forgetting the different names of the control schemes, but there was the one where you didn't have to remember the combos. It was like, you don't have to remember the combos. You just need to know when you use them. And I really liked that aspect of it. I thought it was something that streamlined it for idiots like me. And if it wasn't just on my PS4 right now across the room unplugged, I'd be playing it all the time. Hell, I might just plug it into the video card and play it on here more often or something.
Yeah.
But I think Street Fighter 6 was the best fighting game of the year.
And I still have that memory, Nick, of you telling me the sequence they had for
when people come out and there's the little rap vignette of the yeah and it's like 2 bars and then they do the face off, and I just remember being like, oh, when they play that at Evo, that's gonna pop off. And we didn't get to watch any of Evo, so I don't know if that was like really popular with everyone or not, but
I'm sure it was.
Do you have a sense on who Jake mained?
I think Jake likes characters with reach. Who's the stretchy guy? I forget his name.
Who is the stretchy guy in Street Fighter?
That is
I would think him or the who is the
Dalsim. Yes.
him or the big guy Bison. Is it not Bison? The big hairy guy.
Zangief, One True
Zangief.
Boyfriend Zangief. Yeah.
Zangief.
If you haven't noticed, they released a new costume pack, and Zangief is wearing a gorgeous vest and reading a book and having tea. And this art is everything I needed in my world.
Well, now I need to see
I
it.
did now. I kind of want to see it now.
Zhang.
Does he still have the hair popping out of the chest?
Oh
and
no,
everything?
this is a more modest Zangief.
Okay.
So
Is it more like a I forget, it's not an ascot, but the I'm thinking like almost like a Castlevania, like a Dracula, like the poof coming out a little bit of the chest with a vest on.
No, the vest is with a tie and all the way to the top. I'm only finding a drawing of it now in my history, which is telling. But I will throw that into the show notes just so you get a sense of. I don't believe that. I know that it has been rendered.
No, I'm very curious now.
But this is what we're talking about here with our man.
Okay, I can dig that.
I love that.
I can dig that. Yeah.
What a man.
That's hot.
Yeah.
What
a man.
I like the watch.
What a man.
I like the I don't know what the little chain is that's hanging off.
That would be a pocket watch.
Is that a
So
pocket
he's got
watch?
a watch and a pocket watch. Like this guy's just everything.
You know what this kind of gives me vibes of?
Man.
Does it give you vibes of see me after class and then it turns into a pornography? Because that's the vibes I'm getting.
Yes, I'm getting very much a Full Metal Alchemist, not General Armstrong, but the brother. Is it?
Yeah, I see
Sergeant
that.
Armstrong. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting into this. I'm like, okay, and I dig Deck too. I thought he was hot too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm digging this. Like, this is the kind of man I want to manhandle me.
Yeah. That being said, Street Fighter for me will always be about Chun-Li, and I want to make sure bisexuals know that they are heard and seen in this world. Chun-Li is gorgeous, and
Chun-Li and then Cammy. Cammy's up there. Cammy. I remember people were really concerned about Cammy not having her original costume, but I will say it's in there. And both of Cammy's costumes are great. I don't know if she has any new ones that have come out, but
I think she
Yeah.
has, but yeah, I don't understand why people made a big deal about it because it's like she's hot either way. Why do you care?
100%. 100%.
Josh, it's
Gorgeous.
Kotaku in action. Forget about it.
Dude, I don't need Rule 34 for Street Fighter. Okay, I got that.
It's-
shit
it's
is
all
on
right there.
blast. Yeah,
Those fuckers are command grabbing each other all over the place. Like, I don't even need you to do art for me.
Josh,
Don't need-
we've got mods for. Did we ever talk about that moment in the show where they were playing a tournament and one of the players forgot he had that mod on and his Chun-Li popped up naked?
Yeah. We did talk about that.
I love that. I love that. There's a cosplayer I like who's this big beefy dude, and he dressed up as Chun-Li. He was incredible. I just think Chun-Li is such an icon of just perfection that I think that it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see her naked because her whole like thing is her outfit and
Yes.
her incredible style.
Mhm.
And even then, the closest thing, if you want to see anything like that, the closest thing you're going to get to it is it 96 or 97 cartoon
The
movie
Street
they
Fighter
made?
2 cartoon movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot that they did
She's-
full nudity in that.
Well, she was. I don't think they showed. I don't think it was full nudity with her. I think it was she was in pajamas, but you saw her ripped up
Ja-
and she was in underwear.
You know what? I think I watched it like in the last 10 years. I'm pretty sure it's full nudity. They
I'm trying to find this 'cause I don't have safe shirts or anything. I don't have children.
so okay, so yeah, she fights, she's in a t-shirt and underwear, but they show her in the shower before that.
I don't remember that now.
I don't know how, like, as we were the right age for it when we watched it, where that would have
Yeah,
been something that stuck out.
She's naked in the shower. I got definite behind. Wow. Found some sex repulsed person did a YouTube video about how this was inappropriate. Let's just get the good stuff into the notes, and I think this is the best we're gonna get here.
I know what me and the kids are watching later.
Oh God, you and the kids, stop calling your sperm kids.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's okay. That's butt like that. That's like the equivalent of the
Josh, the
kid
boobs are
cartoons
there
with
too.
The boobs are
I
there
see-
too.
I see.
Not in this
side
picture.
boob.
Not in this picture, but
Do they actually get to a point where you
Josh,
see the boobs? Like
Josh,
nipples and
I'm
everything?
telling you, me and
Okay,
David are
okay.
telling you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Either
trying
way.
to keep it. I don't know what you're going to put on the screen or not, so I'm putting in only things that will scare Nick. That's the only thing I'm trying to
You
do.
wanna-
here.
I'm not
Make
putting
a
anything
word.
else up on the screen anymore, so you go hog wild. My game, while he does that, my most anticipated game of the year is Frostpunk 2. And let me tell you how I feel about that game this year.
How did you feel?
Tell us, Nick.
Really disappointed that it didn't come out yet.
It got pushed back, didn't it?
Yeah, it'll be it's out next year. I don't think they've actually they might have committed to March. There have been a few games that, because the Dragon's Dogma 2 is March now. Frostpunk 2 I believe is March. But yeah, I'll tell you more when I know.
The first Frostpunk was fantastic.
I love it. It's just one of those like gut wrenching games. Like, oh, am I going to make these children work? Am I going?
Well, that's what you do. You make the children work and you kill the old and sick.
Yeah. Oh, you lost an arm? Fuck you. I'm not investing in amputeeism. Like, goodbye.
Yeah.
You're dead.
The first time I got through that full first campaign, I didn't build any storage because I thought, oh, like we'll never get food above this rate. And then like the big freeze happens and I only have the food in that one little storage hut.
Yeah.
And so I just watch everybody die over like
The end of that game is devastating. It is, oh God, it is heartbreaking.
it's like it was one of the most intimidating games like to start.
Yep.
But once you know what you're doing and kind of have an idea of like, oh, I need to build this all the way out here and build a road. Like once you get a feel for like building roads all the way out into like nowhere, it becomes a lot less daunting. Like once you get a build order going to help out.
The circles of it all, I think were probably the thing that I was most like just it's such a different way of coming at a grid based game was using these like circle wedges, which I thought was awesome. But the first time I played, I was like, I have not put anything in a strategic location. I nothing fits. This is like a terribly designed town. It's like I'm in Memphis. Like I just can't.
We're coming for you,
No,
Memphis. Watch out.
That's right. Be on notice.
It's
Sorry
definitely
sorry for losing your Memphis listenership just there.
Yeah,
That's okay, we
that
have
first that first game, I remember like all my all my settlements are like right next to each other except for like one or two. And so like when I put a heater up and like heated all these over here, and then people were still getting sick over there, but I didn't have enough to do a heater, or one more heater would have like just eaten up all of my coal or whatever. It's a fucking mess, but it's such a fun game. And passing the laws and like either being a heretic or like being I forget what the other option is, like a complete
like an authoritarian.
There it is. And it's like, oh no, you're going to have to make hard decisions. You don't get to be a powder puff leader right now. Like you've got to be an asshole. Are we going to eat people? Are we eating people? I guess.
Are we putting sawdust in the soup? Like, sure, why not?
You always put the salt. They won't say anything. It's next to the sawmill.
Fiber.
It's should
free
know.
Fiber.
David, did you have a most anticipated game of the year coming into the year?
It was probably Spider-Man 2, and then I haven't even purchased it yet. So I feel bad about it. I feel guilty that I haven't fulfilled this like desire. I was excited about it because I was off Miles Morales, and you were right. That was just like a hug when I needed it. And I just haven't had time. I just have not had time. I was excited about Final Fantasy 16. But you heard my reaction to Josh saying he needs to finish it, which was, do you need to finish it?
The opening got me, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, I need this in my life. Nothing was better than watching Ifrit and the Phoenix fight each other. It was just so. I mean, just the boss fights are fantastic. Like it's so good, but it's definitely one of those games where I'm like, I'm 16 hours into it, and I don't know how much more is left to do. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but I know at this point we're rolling close up to a year at the rate we're going. So it's like, shit, I need to play it.
The characters they don't seem that interesting.
I enjoy a good story, and JRPGs usually have a pretty good story. The only JRPG this year that made me upset was Star Ocean.
The
Divine Force.
New one. Yeah, I haven't played a Star Ocean since what was the fourth one? We blew up Earth, and then it was a different Earth, and
The
Last Hope.
The Last Hope. There it is. Yeah, that was the last one I truly played, and I'm like, I try to give them a chance because I know it's like the people are up there like Star Ocean, but it's like I can't get into them like everybody else does. I've tried.
Yeah, I mean, you have to sort of be a bit of a masochist that you enjoy, like watching numbers go to extreme. That the thing about Star Ocean is that the numbers get bonkers, and I do love that. It's got a very that tactical game, Diagia. I guess I don't even know how to say that out loud. Disgaea, thank you. Yeah. I do love when numbers get insane, and that's fun to me.
Yeah. Numbers go up.
Numbers go up. See, we're all MBAs. Fucking. That is David Zaslav's favorite game is fucking Star Ocean because he just loves big numbers.
What if I sold Star Ocean and no one could play it? Genius, fucking genius. Resolutions. Mine was be more aware of my time management, which made me laugh before the show because I was like, I have to go write a script that I should have already had done after this. So I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I'm more aware of my time now. So I think that's something that's better because I wasn't aware of how much time I was really killing. And now, like, I'll sit here and do a podcast, and like, let's say I leave here and go play Fortnite. I will be aware of, like, for the last hour I played Fortnite, I could have been doing this, and that'll be in my head the entire time. So I think I'm getting better with being more aware of my time management and getting things done. Just not the script. Not yet.
Yeah. Work is different though than time management. Time management is like, knowing. I think your mindfulness about this, Nick, is the important thing, and I think that you've developed that muscle, and that's important and valuable.
I'm a work in progress.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Aren't we just all?
David, do you have a resolution, and how is it going?
My resolution was to change the way that I looked at work because I was a bit of a workaholic, and it was really it was negatively impacting my relationship and my happiness. And that's why we moved and made this new lives for ourselves. And unfortunately, it has not gone great in the last couple months. I have just been taking on a lot more projects than I need to, and I need to remember that the point of living is to be happy and enjoy life, and not to write things that people aren't going to use. Like, just So I need to get back to that discouragement, and I appreciate that. I think you should set New Year's resolutions in November so you can fuck up and learn from them and reset them in January. So we'll see what lessons are learned, and I'll go at it again January 1.
I like that.
Beautiful.
And you know what? Hey, we've only collectively probably talked for like 5 or 6 hours, but you seem like a genuinely happy guy.
Yeah, I'm mostly medicated, I think, when we talk. So that's the no, just kidding, just kidding,
He
just
gets
kidding, just
off
kidding.
he gets off the call. He's like, fuck, I fucking hate it.
It's funny, my husband, because I was talking about being stressed about the like to make a PowerPoint. Like my ancestors are just like fucking cursing me.
My caveman ancestors are like, I'm hiding from a saber tooth right now.
But I was telling him I was stressed, and then I was like, oh, I gotta make sure that I adjust my sleep schedule so I can join this podcast. And he was like, well, maybe podcasts are the source of your strength. And I looked at him and I dead-eyed was like, podcasts are the only thing bringing me joy.
Well, we thank you for
shut the fuck up.
We thank you for bringing joy to this show.
You know what? You're the only thing keeping me mentally well at this moment, so no pressure.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
The only nicest thing anybody's ever said to me.
Real quick, Jake's was be more active and consistent with it. I hope he's doing well with that, but also he's not here, so whatever, Jake. Josh's was doing more for myself. Josh, how's that going?
Not well. This year was supposed to be more about me, and it's kind of been the opposite, actually. I feel like this year has been more of doing more for me and my wife. It's just been a really rough year. This past weekend we've had a friend pass away from cancer. Back in August, we had our dog that we got as a young couple together pass away randomly out of nowhere. Infertility issues, trying to get pregnant. It's been left and right with left hook, right hooks, couple jabs in there. We've been beaten down for sure. Like we're like, dude, we're just ready for 2024. We're ready to move on because this year was supposed to be more about us, or more about me really in general for myself. That's the resolution I made, and I feel like I've done the complete opposite just because so much has happened. It's ridiculous. I've gone from the worst day of my life to the worst year of my life.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
I feel like you're growing. I feel like you say it wasn't about you, but like, you're expanding into you and your wife. Like that's you and her against the world, and so you're gonna get that time for yourself to do things that you want to do. But
I know what's coming in the future.
It's important and it's great that you're making time for that other person that you've committed your life to.
Yeah, and that's not saying it's the bad thing or I don't want to do that. It's just I've struggled with trying to help others more than myself. It's because I'm very much I don't want to see others hurt. I want to do whatever I can to help them, even if it hurts me. And it's like I need to stop doing that because at some point, even when I do that, a lot of people leave me after that, and it's forgotten about. Where then I'm still hurting from doing whatever it was I was supposed to do. Instead of doing that, I was taking care of them or helping them.
Yeah.
So my mentality at work, that's what happens a lot is someone will reach out to me and be like, oh, I don't know how to do this, even though this is what I've been doing for my whole career, my past, 5 years at this job. And it's like, okay, I've done it less than you. And you're coming to me asking what you should do. You've got a problem.
But it becomes transactional at that point in time.
Yes.
It's not about personality and bonding and community. It's what can you do for me?
Yeah.
And
how
feels
relationship benefit me?
Yeah.
I don't have anything serious to add to that anymore. I was going to ask, have you considered quitting your job and getting a divorce?
No, but I will tell you a funny story on why you should change your password regularly.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm ready.
So a couple weeks ago.
Wait, is this going to get you fired?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Well, if it's with severance, then that might be okay. So keep going with the story.
So we had a bunch of phone calls randomly come in, like 150 people at one point calling, ask about a job posting that we made. We didn't know what they were talking about. We found it. Apparently one of our employees at our company, his LinkedIn was hacked and somebody put a post up for basically like $150,000 job or something close to like something like you would be outrageously paid to do. And they posted this job. All these people are calling us to confirm, like, hey, is this real? Is this a real thing? And people are trying to apply to it. So we since then, okay, so we stopped that. We reached out to LinkedIn and let them know, hey, that's not us. It's a scam. They're working on fixing it. Somehow, some of these people still got through a bunch of things, and people have started sending in their banking information or sending in, like, they're getting checks from us and trying to cash it in and being told, like, oh, your check bounced. It's a bad check. Somebody lost $40,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And my thought process is, like, from what we gathered, they didn't do any interviews. They were just told, like, oh, you're a great candidate. Let's get you your information and stuff. And it's like, at what point in this process did you think that this was like a real job, or like you were gonna like have this, like, you didn't have an interview, like there was no interview. It's emails. You did not have an interview and you thought you got this job, and it's a management position job. So it's like, and then they're calling like, oh, well, I sent this information to so and so there and they promised me this, but I'm $40,000 out. And it's like, well, first off, that person doesn't exist, and second, if you couldn't catch the red flags of this scam, you don't deserve that job.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's cruel, but at the same time, it's like, you are a grown, like, this is not a 16-year-old going, I can get out of college and make, $150,000. No, you are a person in the industry for 30 years. You know how much that position pays for, and you still applied for it and gave that information. You don't deserve that job.
These are people who aren't technically savvy. Like, the three of us in this room wouldn't fall for that. But these are people who aren't technologically savvy. They're not. They may be desperate, and that's just scammer 101 looking for.
Right.
You got to find the marks. I say that as a former, not a former scammer. I wasn't doing stuff like this, but
yeah, you could only get my social security number if you put up, shower scenes of Chun-Li. Like, I think that's the only thing that would have gotten me.
Well, sir. So we got.
It's the industry, though, Nick. It's the industry I'm in that makes me very worried, because you have to know technology. That's all this industry is technology. So the fact that you fell for that and you're in a tech-heavy industry is really worrisome. Not only just a tech-heavy industry, but an industry where you have to be careful because you have proprietary information, other people's social security numbers, VIN numbers. Like, this is like just below government level shit.
Well, I think that's why sites like Indeed and LinkedIn are kind of just becoming obsolete, just because it's a lot of garbage in there. You have to go through the hiring employer's website at this point, because anything you see on those websites, I mean, I could put something up that says, hey, I need a new podcast, go host, because the one I've got right now is not cutting it.
Yeah.
Or anyone could. I'm sorry, I'm not going to put that up. Someone else could put that up, and we're not looking for a co-host at all.
Well, so, and that's so that's that part. It gets crazier.
Oh God,
there's another level.
Oh, there's another level. I'm going to ask you guys a simple question, and this is just tell me what you think. But like,
I'm ready.
Real quick. So, someone hacks your account. You found out. What are you doing? What are you going to do to fix that problem?
The first thing I'm going to do is change my password.
Okay. Would you do anything else outside of that account?
I would check every other account that I had, that I was not logged in recently, that there was no suspicious behavior. And by the way, I'm the other Mr. Arnold would be taking care of all this, because I don't do any of this shit. My password is Tractor. Like,
But you have the right thought process. Go check your other accounts, maybe change that password, especially if they're the same. They didn't do that. Ooh. So they hacked into their email and sent another scam. And this is not like their personal email. This is their work email.
This is some industrious scamming. This is really like high level. Not to like praise criminals, but like, well done.
I do want to praise the criminals. Great job, guys. That takes a lot of tenacity.
Commit to the bit. I love that.
A lot of tenacity. It's an uphill battle. You ain't got no money. You need that money. And you worked hard for it.
These people have taken an improv, because they are yes-anding their way right into this scam. This is great.
40K, I say double it. Give them 80.
Yeah.
I just stopped and I'm like, that guy or girl, whoever did it, definitely got their money's worth out of this, because they hit the trifecta of I'm going to sound very cruel. The trifecta of morons. the person, like, I understand the first thing is unavoidable. Shit happens. It's the world. It sucks. The second one was so preventable, but not only did it affect them on a personal level, they affected the whole entire company that we actually had to reach out to customers and tell them, ignore this email. We've been out.
Wow.
And it's been a shit show.
I think, honestly, I think everyone should just, keep an eye on like their elderly when it comes to this kind of stuff, and maybe just scam their own grandparents before like a stranger scams their grandparents.
Take a 20 out of your grandma's purse before you do this shit.
I wish I still had a grandmother to scam, because I'm glad she's not around to be scammed, but if she were, I'd scam her, because you'd rather it be your grandchild than some stranger on the other side of the world.
It's like your parents buying you beer when you were 15. It's just the other end of development on that one.
I want you to drink here, because if you go down to Tony's and drink, you're going to drive back and maybe go drive your car into the nearby quarry. I don't want that.
If I can watch you and have a beer with you.
Yeah. Josh, I'm left with a couple of things based on this resolution and your sort of your space and mindset, which is one, I don't think you should be worried about being fired because somebody at your company lost $40,000 and they're still employed. And two, when you think about things that you do for yourself, there are these good ways that I hope that you can in the next month look back and see them and know that you did hit a couple beats on this, even for a year that was pretty tremendously shitty. I think that, we were talking about Spotify Unwrapped earlier. Like, I'd love you to go back and look at your trophies. Like, that's the nice thing about achievements and trophies. But I mean, like, seriously, like, sit down, put on some Zen background music and just read them and go through them and look at the times and dates and think those were times that were for me. And there's a beauty to that.
God damn it. I love you, David.
I think all listeners should do that, by the way. I think it's actually like, I think trophy hunting gets a bad biz because there are like some intense trophy people. I don't know. Somebody I follow on Twitter just got a 6,000th platinum trophy.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of games.
I know. And Sony sent him a PS5, and I was like, fuck, man, I got 70 platinum trophies. Send me some shit.
I got like 5 or 6, I think.
But there is this catharsis about looking back. And I think that, I don't know, there's a beauty in that. And I think you all should do that for yourself.
That'd actually be really cool. And with the PS5, they have that feature where when you get it, it records that moment it's going on, and it records your voice and stuff. That'd be cool if Sony did that. As like voice. If you had the mic on the controller, it actually record what you were saying and doing. So like, I've done so many of those where I'm like, I'm kind of curious now. That'd be cool to go back and actually have like a reel of all of those and just see what I was talking about in that moment. I'm sure there's a couple like,
you don't want to hear
my fucking God, finally.
I'm terrified of the idea of what I might have said for some Street Fighter 6 trophies. So I will be going back to that immediately.
delete.
Oh, it's on the internet. There ain't no deleting it. It's there forever.
Sony has it forever. Well, hey everybody, we made it through the show. Yay. As always, thank you to David for hanging out with us.
Such a joy.
David, what are your I was gonna say gimmicks, but what are your podcast up to as of late?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, we're a podcasting network now, which is, I don't remember if that was true the last time we talked, but everybody got together and we're all just like queer dudes and ladies and non-binary folks who are recording podcasts about media. So movies, TV, video games. And so you can check out everything that we're doing at glitterjaw.com, which is the Glitterjaw Queer Podcast Collective. Right now, we've got a Gimmicks that just dropped around Futurama, and one that will be dropping, I think, the week this episode goes live on everyone's podcast feeds. We'll be covering Angel, the early 2000s gritty noir Buffy spinoff. And then Are You My Mother is covering Morticia Addams. So if you want to hear me and my guest Stick Brandon talk about some kinky ass sex, that's what we're going on about with talking about mommy Morticia there.
You have my attention.
My favorite fictional mom is probably Morticia.
She's so great.
She's just amazing.
Stick asked such a great question at the end of it. He goes, do you think Morticia is queer? And I was like, wow, I mean, I do. She's in a heterosexual relationship, but they're seen as so othered by the rest of the world that I think that there's deserved conversation about them as sort of a queer family.
I can see it.
Yeah. Plus, they're kinky as fuck, which is just
fuck. She's always got
so
knives.
kinky.
She's got knives in her mouth every time I see her.
oh, just so hot, so hot. And we went through every Morticia, but we did talk the most about Angelica Houston because mommy, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Yeah,
Please,
100%. So check those out wherever you get podcasts. But of course, my time and love is here with SGT. So was a joy being on with y'all again.
We love
Thanks,
having
David.
you on here.
We love having you. Hey, I think you might be the most guested with 2.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna step it up in 2024.
We're gonna step it up
Hell
in
yeah.
2024. We're gonna pump those numbers up. 2, that's chump
Yeah.
numbers. We're getting those numbers up.
Yeah, we're gonna pump those numbers up. I love that. That's exactly what we
God. A little treat for the video watchers.
just video watchers on that one.
Hey everybody, Nick here. You can find me on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, at that Kaufman. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitch at Nick Fat Knight. Not that I'm doing anything over there. You can also find my reviews on Game Chronicles. I have Thirsty Suitors, Slay the Princess. Not often I get 2 bangers in a row like that, but go check those reviews out. Josh, where can the people find you?
Yeah, I do reviews as well over at Game Chronicles. Just had Ascent or Savant Ascent remix go up there along with Hellboy, Web of Weird. Avoid it for now. You can find me anywhere at I'm Josh Saying, and well, hopefully have some more reviews up soon. But it's crazy end of the year shit going on, so we'll see.
Yeah. And David, is there anywhere else that people can find you?
Yeah, if you just you're like, oh, I need more David, seek help. But you can find me online almost anywhere as Dmuma. That's DMUMA. That's Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, wherever.
Facebook too. No, I'm just kidding.
Facebook, yeah.
He's on Threads even.
Really?
I am on Threads.
The man is on the Threads.
You know
really
what's
use
interesting?
Threads anymore?
No. I have one post on Threads and it was like, what the fuck is this? But the moment Threads launched, it was all this cock measuring contest of oh, Zuckerberg's so much better. And I was like, why are we praising Mark Zuckerberg? Literally a movie was made about how terrible this person is. But it was just this weird, talking about the console wars like we did before the record, it's like the social media wars is where we're at now. You're sort of identifying with one.
Yeah, everybody was competing to have the best hole in the yard. It's like, no, you all have a hole in your yard. Shut up.
Exactly. And you'll have to pry Twitter out of my cold dead hands because I made a life for myself and that's what I chose.
Oh, he got up.
He's digging that hole for you right now.
He really is.
Hey, fuck the advertisers. That's exactly what they want to hear, Mr. Elon.
Yeah. My man. Just wow, what a guy.
Hey, everybody, keep up with the show. Smashing Game Time is also on Twitter, Instagram. We're on TikTok, though we've slowed down over there a little bit. We might pick it back up.
We're picking it back up.
Okay, Josh says we're picking it back up. We're picking it back up. Our website is still a work in progress. Gonna get that up. I want to do some reviews over there. Also, have our Game of the Year lists that separate folks have, like me and Josh, or any guest who want to do a list of the top 10 something of the year, whatever. So that'll be going up soon. Keep an eye out for that. Hey, my time management, it's back. And what else did I have? I think that was, thank you to Alex Marvin Clark for our intro and outro song, Hunt Him Down. Great stuff. Go check out his SoundCloud down in the show notes. And hey, we'll be back next week. We've got some interviews coming up with the developer, one of the developers of Ugly, one of the developers of Slay the Princess. So keep an ear out for that. Still working on those. Holidays are just a little messy for everybody right now. And then the big one, Game of the Year, is coming up in the next few weeks. We will officially announce the dates. Those will be going up soon. So keep an eye out for that. Everybody, this has been Smashing Game Time. I hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see each and every one of you next time.